following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
We got some of the action, but a whole lot of the drama on tonight's episode of the Toonami Faithful Podcast. I'm your host, Kuro, and with me I have...
your regular host, Sketch.
And...
wayward dog sitting editorial writer, Laser Kid.
Bringing up the rear. That's you, Steven. Cueing you in.
Sorry about that. I said it and I was muted and everything, I thought it went all perfect.
Honestly,
hey,
I almost missed my cue, too.
Yeah. You know what? It's a podcast full of miscues.
Nothing but professionals here at the Toonami Faithful Podcast.
Just a little behind the scenes here, folks. I just walked home from second day of jury duty, and I am wiped.
Well, we're glad you found the energy to join us.
If I was working my regular shift, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, would be doing a Thursday probably.
Probably. That was
Since
plan
Sunday
A.
was Mother's Day.
Yes. Hopefully you all spent some time with your mothers, at least called them. If you have mothers.
Yes. Or the whatever maternal influence you have in your life.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we're gonna talk about some Toonami. We do have a couple of, I guess, sorta news items that we will tack on at the end, because I just want to jump right in to Rooster Fighter. Yeah, let's get to it. So we ended the last episode with a takedown of a rampaging octopus demon. And at this stage, Elizabeth and Pyoko are attempting to communicate with it, the formerly nice demon, to help him find his niceness again. And through a bit of a head bonk, they managed to expel a Marlboro-like creature. And yes, I will be making this Final Fantasy reference for the rest of this recap. After they have expelled the Marlboro parasite, the demon becomes much more reasonable again, and thanks to chickens, he's verbal even, and the demon also remembers Keisuke. He tells the group of how the devils injected that creature into him and he lost control of himself. Now that they have an understanding of how the devils control the demons, they try to come up with a plan and ask about why the demons are doing all this destruction and chaos, and are told by Octopus Demon that it's apparently them just letting off steam. But he doesn't actually know the devil's true goal, only that they are searching for something. That's all. So, wanting to bring Morio back to his senses, the chickens decide they're going to go to the warehouse. Keisuke, Keiji, and Pyoko head there, while Elizabeth stays behind, and she has her own reasons for doing so, which turns out are hilarious. As she's waiting for a helicopter to land, she meets up with her father, who's her papa, in quotations, her rich papa, who speaks fluent Chickenese.
I love that. That is so hilarious.
Now that we can call it that, that's great. We have a word for it. Yeah, it's hilarious. And apparently her papa has brought her some kind of device that she requested that they've done research on. I guess they've been communicating through their smartphones. We don't see at this moment what the device is. Anywho, the Chicken Brothers enter the warehouse and confront the Devil Boys. And we get a brief flashback to them speaking with the woman they call Mother, who wants them to take Keiji alive, but says they can do with the rest what they will. So not even Pyoko is safe. So the devils release their horde of demons on the two brother roosters. Keiji and Keisuke are fighting the demons while the devils watch, and they become surrounded. Keiji decides he's going to unleash his ultimate Coco attack, but Elizabeth then shows up with what she calls her digital energy gun and knocks all of them out. So, wanting to mix things up further, the devils decide to release Morio and two giant friends who subsequently begin to rampage. Keiji decides he's going to take on Morio and try to reason with him and also take out the Marlboro parasite, but he really isn't able to target it. So Pyoko says she's going to use her small side and just go inside and take it out herself from inside his brain. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and Keisuke take on their two large demons and, do their business. Keiji initially suggests knocking Morio out using Elizabeth's device, but then their new friend, Octopus Demon, shows up, helps restrain Morio so the chickens can find an opening. Opening being through his nose. I guess.
Ew.
So Pyoko just goes up there. She just hops up there and starts searching for the parasite. It's pretty nasty. As she journeys up the nasal cavity, she finds a green glowing stem, which leads her to the Marlboro parasite. And she tries to take it head on and is pretty easily knocked around by the creature repeatedly. It's upsetting to watch, but she is inspired by Keiji's determination from his own fights and tries again. And at that point, she figures out, wait, the creature is locked in place. It can't move. So she goes around the back and attacks it from behind and starts stabbing it repeatedly with her little needle. What could possibly go wrong here? I'll tell you what can go wrong. It responds aggressively with its own pincer, and it pierces our poor little Pyoko. Oh no! Did anyone yell at the screen when this happened? I definitely yelled.
Yes, I absolutely
yes,
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I was not expecting that.
No, neither was I. It was hard enough watching her get beat up, but yeah. So she passes out, and it's looking quite grim. But suddenly, the lights flash, and a symbol appears on her breast, and her eye opens with another blue-colored weird symbol. What is happening here?
It's the reunion.
I guess she found her own inner Super Saiyan, or accidentally
She went
unlocked
Super
it.
Chicken.
Super Chicken, yeah. Yeah.
She became
her
Itachi.
her Genova cells have activated.
We also learned one of the devil's names was Ikari. That was the only one I caught. I don't know if the other one had a name, but the
They
bowl
gave
cut
names
boy,
for both of them, but
I only caught Bullcut's name. His is Ikari. And I'm calling the Mama Lilith for now until I get
thought
a
it
better
was
name from her.
Hikari with an H.
Hikari, maybe it is.
Yeah, I know the other one was named, and it was even visible if you were watching closed captions, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, they said them, but they said them very quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
Big dude and smart dude. Well, a smart in quotes dude.
Let's poor little Pyoko. What do we think is happening here, aside from her getting her little tushy whipped? Poor thing.
I made a joke about Genova cells, but it's only a half joke.
There is something going on. Might be close to the truth.
Something like that.
I like the reference, though.
Well, I mean, I'm using it as an intentional reference to what I think is actually going on. Something was done to Pyoko, God knows when. And we've noticed that she can't grow. She's not aging. And now that her life is basically almost over, because you're not going to survive that under normal circumstances, something is taking over, and I think that something is the thing that kept her from aging.
Do you think she knows that she's different from other chicks? I do
not think so.
I mean, she looks different from the other chicks, but would she doesn't seem to have any concept that, she doesn't mention age, but But chicks do grow fairly quickly. So I think that's an interesting theory that something is done to her, or there's some experiment that makes her different, obviously. It's a curiosity.
There were
Mama
definitely
Lilith knows.
symbols and stuff going on, so we're dealing with something. It could be experiment. It could be maybe she's the chicken chosen one. I don't know.
Yeah. Sketch. What are your thoughts about little Kyoko?
Yeah, well, we have a history now of a traumatic, perhaps life-threatening situation unlocks a power within a chicken or rooster. So I think it's just kind of following along with that more so than anything else. But you do raise a good point. Maybe there's always been something unique about Pyoko in particular.
Yeah.
And my other observation is not to rain on Pyoko's moment here, but when Keiji and Pyoko were both standing in the nostrils, like, yeah, Keiji could fit in there too. He could crawl right up in there. Like, he just has to get inside of the nostril, and then he could do some serious damage.
True.
Yeah, but they didn't want to kill him.
No, true. But I mean, it's got to be more effective than trying to blast it from the outside, aiming at the head.
True.
But yeah, maybe it's too delicate work for a brute.
He
like
might not have been able to
Keiji.
make it through those synapses or whatever it was.
I mean, they did
Pyoko
it.
climbed through.
Then that begs the question: how did they do it the first time? It looked like Pyoko kind of knocked it out of him. She went and did her little baby kick into the head, and it just kind of popped out.
That's
Yeah,
true.
maybe it wasn't very rooted well.
Yeah, well, the thing had been knocked out already. I don't know. That's interesting to think about.
Yo, shout out to Octopops coming in clutch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I like his helpful nature being used for more than just like, I'll tell you what's going on, you know.
Because here, let me hold him so you can get in there.
Yes.
I have to get in there.
Yeah. Keisuke is definitely proving to be a badass too.
Oh yeah.
He's holding his own.
Elizabeth busting out the Dominator from Psycho-Pass. Like, I see it initially, I'm like, yeah, that kind of reminds me of the Dominator from Psycho-Pass. And then she kicks it up to a higher gear. I was like, oh, that's definitely the Dominator from Psycho-Pass.
Her DEG, her digital energy gun, she calls it. Yeah.
I was just getting
I can
Doom Gun
dig it.
reference.
Or dig it.
I see what you did there.
I get it. It took me a minute. Sorry. Yeah. Something also that I picked up on, that the motivation of the devils, they're infecting them with these parasites. They're just keeping them though. And they're not actually intentionally letting them out to, for any purpose. The whole we're just letting off steam bit I thought was kind of odd. But then the fact that they're like actively searching for something and where did collecting all these little demons come into play. Curiouser and curiouser.
Indeed.
Yeah. Steven, anything you wanted to contribute to talk about this episode of Rooster Fighter?
So the one demon dude is Hikari with an H, and then I think the other one is Yuji, Yuji.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that seems to be that guy. Yeah, both of them, they look like they want to fight and they want to do it, but it seems like they're meticulously doing it to hunt down Keiji and the other chickens, or within that family, the demon hunters or anything from that, because the motivations seem like they're trying to draw someone out. They're not trying to just go out and interact and like do certain demons, because they're looking like they're actually trying to find certain demons or trying to find certain ones to draw them out. So it is fun.
I do
like
that she would have kept grabbed when she when the mama came across them, though. Like, why didn't she grab them then? If that's what she wanted, that would have
I
been her
don't. Yeah.
opportunity. That's the part that I'm
Yeah.
not sure it's them she's looking for, that I think she's looking for someone else.
She's looking for Keiji, or because they took
She
the
wants
father.
to keep him. She wants to keep him, but I don't think that's who they're talking about when they say they're looking
No.
for someone.
Unless
No,
they
they
just
find
want their power.
They find that bloodline interesting and potentially useful for their information, but it doesn't
Mhm.
seem to be what they're looking for specifically.
Unless they want their power, and that could be something right there, because they kidnapped the father of Keiji and Keisuke. They kidnapped him, and they still didn't let him go, or they're gonna fight for him or whatever. But it's like, were they looking for Keiji the whole time, and they brought him? So
I
maybe a
don't think they
mistaken
kept.
identity thing.
I think that they're not keeping him hostage. I think they're keeping him from causing trouble. Because as long as they have these demon fighting chickens free, they're going to be a nuisance to whatever grander scheme they
Yeah.
have in mind. So holding on to the demon fighting chicken keeps him under control so they can go about their business.
Mm.
That was
is
just kind of
interesting.
what the conclusion I came to after seeing this episode, that it wasn't so much about drawing in the others as it was about keep getting them out of the way.
Got
They
it.
definitely
That makes
want
more
something
sense.
from him because they were torturing him for information, and he was like, "Nope."
Yeah, which I bet, I mean, I'm sure, like, he seems to have this arcane knowledge because he references in the brief scene we see him talking to Keisuke, like their family. He's trained one son to be powerful, etc. So they're looking for the ultimate weapon against Colonel Sanders. That's what it is. There's
You
a
know it.
stronger rooster out there.
We need to get the extra spicy recipe.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot going on here. We learned it's called Chickenese. Elizabeth's got a new weapon. Pyoko is maybe,
Chickenese.
maybe not dead.
Little
And there's some
chickenese.
more devil shenanigans happening for sure with these creatures. But I don't think I certainly think that this, because this is only episode 9. I think this is just going to be the rest. We still have to resolve this the rest of the season, so I suspect this will be a little bit more drawn out. Any final thoughts on Rooster Fighter before we move on? Okay. Yes. So I just want to dig into some meat here and talk about Tokyo Revengers. They're pretty heavy episodes, pretty like big dramatic episodes, but they also revealed a lot of information. So we'll start with episode 13, Odds and Ends. Following the tragic events of the previous episode and Hinata and Akun's death, Takamichi attends Hinata's funeral, and Naoto, we see, is completely overcome with emotion and doesn't seem to be able to comprehend how this happened after everything he had tried to orchestrate to prevent this. After the funeral, Hinata's mother gives Takamichi the 4-leaf clover necklace that he gave Hinata, which proves how much she treasured him. Later, in a conversation with Naoto, he reveals that his friend Atsushi, who he calls Akun, had a family in this timeline, and they seem to have gone missing. And so he deduces that someone in Toman likely manipulated him by threatening to harm them, and presumably they're still missing. So, wow, this is like dark. This is really evil stuff, guys. Any case, they at this point realized that Draken's survival was not the only element that decided Tomon's future, and Takamichi concludes that the gang itself just needs to be dismantled from within, and that he himself needs to become the leader to make it happen and stop Kiseki. So we hear a lot of Kiseki's name coming up in this episode now. He starts to become more of a presence. He expresses that he doesn't understand how Kiseki could have butt in between Draken and Mikey, So Naoto suggests that maybe they need to go visit Draken, who is alive in this timeline. So some time passes because it takes time to arrange these sorts of things because we realize that Draken is in fact in jail. And Takamichi and Naoto go to visit him on death row. When he asks what happened to Toman and what brought Draken to prison, Draken admits that it's his own fault. He couldn't stop him, and he's been imprisoned for murder. Though Draken also seems to be basically the same person, and he does reflect fondly on the early days of Toman, but he also admits that given another chance, he would definitely kill Kiseki, who seems to be the true source of the corruption within Toman. They don't really have time to learn more. I don't know why they're given like 4 minutes to have a conversation with him. I guess that's what you get in Japan when you visit death row. But Draken, before he leaves, he warns Takamichi that Kiseki targets anyone who is close to Mikey because he wants to take away anyone from Mikey that he holds dear. He hates him. And we get a brief flashback of Draken in this office building committing a murder. And then we see Kiseki walk in smugly and make a comment, but that's it. We don't know anything else about that situation. So Takamichi learns from Naoto that Kiseki seems to be in this present timeline Toman's acting leader, and he affirms that he is in fact the key to Hinata's demise, which we've been speculating throughout all of this. The police don't have a lot of information on him or any leads to him, and Takamichi admits he hasn't even met him in the past. But he repeats that his plan is to take over Toman so he can protect everyone from the top. And he's going to do so by taking the 3rd division spot that's been left vacant by Pa. So he seems to sort of have a plan this time, not just vaguely going back and I'm going to protect everybody. He seems to have some idea of how to do this, sort of. So Naoto and Takamichi shake hands and he returns to the past. This time, he's got intent, and he has a few mysteries he's determined to solve, such as why he dumped Hina, why Hanma was there when Hina died, how Draken ended up on death row, and who is Kiseki and why does he hate Mikey? All great questions, 2 of which cannot be solved in the past, my friend. Just want to bring that up. Takamichi awakens in a bath with both of his friends. Draken appears to have healed fine from his wounds, and the boys are horsing around like normal. It's a pretty joyous reunion. As the trio leaves, Mikey reveals that they're going to welcome the new 3rd Division captain. So we have this now. Takamichi has this resolve. He's got this plan, which he hasn't really had in the past. And he's got a little bit more information. But I can't help but feel like he's still going back into the past, half-cocked, without the data he needs. Like, I understand he can't learn about Kiseki in the present. That makes sense. And, the stuff about Hina. But, like, about Hanma or what Draken did to end up on death row, just go back and fucking visit the guy again. I can't imagine like they would limit these visits to 5 minutes. Like a 20-minute conversation should probably fill in the gaps for you, because why Draken would have no need to keep that information. I don't understand the logic here. I feel like this could have been resolved from a little bit more time in the present and taking that knowledge back,
They also didn't really give him any training or anything, which is really getting ridiculous.
Yeah, that seems to be the normal at this point.
No information, no training, just go figure it out.
On one hand, the longer he stays in the present, the more things change in the past that he's not aware of. So I could kind of understand sending him back sooner than later, but like, you're not using your time in the present very effectively at all. But to one point, I kind of feel like Draken doesn't want Takamichi involved, so he's not gonna tell him anything that'll get him killed.
And Draken pretty much tells him to leave. Like, Draken is trying to protect him, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but he's pointing out he knows that Takamichi had an attempt on his life. That's what brought him there. He jumped to the correct conclusion. So, like, Takamichi has every right to he as a person trying to protect their life, he would have every right to know, like, I need all the information without telling him his whole scheme about Hinata and his friends and everything, just based on his own need to protect himself. I would think that would entitle him to at least something beyond what he gave him.
Well, and to be fair, their visit was cut short for reasons beyond me, honestly.
I
that
agree
was
entirely.
This was
strange.
set up by a police officer. Why would you cut up an investigation short?
Bad script writing.
Maybe, or maybe somebody's pulling strings behind the scenes.
That could be. I'd like to see evidence of that, if that's the case.
Mhm.
Man, if he has that much reach, that's pretty dark.
It does
This
seem like
show's
he's got
getting pretty
enough-
dark.
Yeah.
Based on what Draken said, his reach is bad enough that he was told him, get out of the city. He can kill you just by thinking about it.
He's been trying. He's already made several attempts.
Probably should have told him to get out of the country.
As bad as it is.
Dude's not doing
maybe.
a good job of killing anyone. He kills everyone around him but him.
Kirk Takan, you've been trying to get me, but just like the idiot you are, you keep missing the mark. You just hit everyone else but me.
Yeah. I have some thoughts about Hanma that I came to after the subsequent episode, but I do feel like that was something he also might have discussed a little bit with Naoto to just sort of dig into. Because all right, so we didn't have a lot of information on Kisaki, didn't even mention Hanma to him. Especially because he saw him right before. I would think that's extremely relevant. And it was obvious what was happening in that moment, too. He was there to ensure everything went the way it was supposed to. With killing everybody, killing the three of them. So, yeah, I just think Takamichi, he's got good intentions and he's learning, but he's not he's still going off half-cocked. And that's why he keeps making mistakes, because he's not thinking all of this through. And I feel like at the stuff he's learned should at least, he should at least be more thoughtful about intentional about some of the decisions he's making. You know what I mean?
Definitely. But there's just something about the writing, and he couldn't be with us, but Archangel and I had a pretty long chat after this last set of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
The suspension of disbelief is just getting worse and worse as this goes along.
Yeah. I really do like the plot building and how complex it is, but it is hard to ignore plot holes sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I am enjoying it. So Paul has joined us. Paul, we're talking specifically about the episode Odds and Ends, episode 13. If you wanted to share a few thoughts just about this episode, not about the subsequent episode.
Yeah, I'm still alive. Hi.
He lives.
I'm alive. I didn't have a voice about a week ago, but yeah,
I'm glad you have a voice today.
So far. Let's see. So I don't know. I keep thinking that the one dude has something to do with all this. The police officer that's his girlfriend's brother.
Naoto?
Yeah, I mean it's especially, when, like you had said, like that interview got cut off. Mind you,
if he had something to do, why would he keep sending Takamichi back?
Good question.
Why would he want his, like, this whole thing it was kind of his idea in the first place. Like if he was as part of this and was like on the other side, why would he set up any of this?
That's a little nuts even for you, Paul.
Oh, I know. It's just there are some things in there like what you had mentioned with the interview being cut off because again,
right, and that's
police officer.
strange, and it's either bad
There's
story writing or someone else in the PD is playing games.
yeah, it could be, and honestly, it could be that it's just there's been some things that I'm just like something's not adding up with him. Maybe it's not like that per se. Maybe it's something else, but it's just like something is just a little bit off about it. And honestly, it could be the writing because that does happen a lot with animes. I just, I think I made when I was on previously, whenever the last time that was, I think I had mentioned how it would be funny if he had not funny, but he might have avoided all of this if he broken up with her, and then this wouldn't have been an issue because well they weren't together, and they
He did break up with her. That was, I mean, it came up before she died. She was talking to him about how he broke her heart, and he says he doesn't even remember breaking up with her, and he's trying to figure out why he did,
yeah.
assuming that that was part of the problem, that him breaking up with her, because he did, and then they separated and she still gets killed. So clearly it's him breaking up
It's
with her
bizarre.
doesn't, yeah.
It's just weird because it's like 1 minute it seems like they're off, 1 minute they're on. Okay, yes, they broke up, but then it's
Maybe
just
he
like
should have
I don't
broke up
know.
with her before getting involved in all of this gang stuff.
Yeah, and he can't go that far back
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
She's
So
a plot device for his character to feel grounded to some
yes,
humanity. That's what her,
exactly.
and as much as I hate that her character is reduced to this, that is essentially her role. Is she's meant to be the purity and goodness for Takamichi to keep him grounded and keep his goal focused on her. That's her role.
That's sad.
It is
Yeah,
sad. I
well,
don't like it, but it is what it is.
But
yes, but I
what's
also
the
think go ahead. Go ahead, Steven.
but what's the deal with it if they're making her the plot device and she keeps dying throughout all of this stuff? There has to
Mm.
be some information that they're killing her for, or they don't want her to get out of it
Yeah.
That was
to spread her secret. There is something that she is running from, but it doesn't seem like she's running from any of that stuff. There's something there that she knows that basically everyone else is afraid of what she knows. So it's either one of two things. It's something about him, or it's something that she's seen. That's usually what happens in any of this stuff. So I don't know. That it is strange,
Well,
and I don't know why they would keep using her as this thing. Do they use the guy with the haircut who becomes a
At-
yeah,
Atsushi.
yeah,
Kashyyyk, yeah.
they use him as another way of killing another thing of like I get that's like an emotional thing, but it's like again, it's like do these people have to die? Are
I don't
they
think
like
it's about
constants?
I don't think her dying is about her, like, for us she's the plot device. For the show plot, it's about Takamichi. She's dying because of him.
Well,
This is
more
about him and managing him, and because he has been the target all along. She has been tangential. And
well,
that's
and
been pretty
largely
clear. Yeah.
it's all Kiseki is trying to make Mikey suffer. That was said straight out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was gonna say like Kiseki, I feel like and we obviously haven't gotten the whole story yet, obviously, but I feel like he even if let's say she didn't see anything and they're broken up, right? Let's just keep that. Him killing her because he knows that Mikey is still in love with her, which
Mikey's not in love with her. He just cares about her.
yeah. Um I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, this is going to hurt somebody. So I'm going to kill her, and that's going to kill him in a way, even if I can't kill him, which he was trying to do. So, it's like, and I guess I'm still like,
I think you're
with
confusing
Kuro on this.
Takamichi with Mikey.
I meant Takamichi. I'm sorry. I'm losing it tonight. But I'm also with Kuro on this because it's like, they keep trying to kill Takamichi, but yet he's been out of the gang for all of these years. Like he's been a bum. He hasn't really done anything. So it's like, why are you trying to kill both of these people when they haven't?
Because
even
it would make
involved?
Mikey sad.
Yeah, because
right.
he hates Mikey. Yeah.
So
But imagine
you see,
holding that level of vitriol within you. Like, how devious do you have to be to feel that?
That's some
How
reverse Flash
sad.
nonsense.
How sad of a person do you gotta be to have that level of vitriol?
Yeah.
Welcome to
This
our current
Kiseki
world.
guy. Yeah, this Kiseki. I think when I say dark, like I remember when we talked about Bleach and we were calling it dark. It's different because it's like fantasy and it's it's different. But this
Bleach
is
is dark
it's
because
real
we
world.
keep characters are dying in battle. That is
Yeah.
different than living your life and car accident, murder.
Yeah,
That is a whole different psychological level.
Gang bangers, like all of a crime. There's a little bit more reality here, minus the time travel aspect. Like there's definitely an element of reality here where all these things could actually happen to real people, in real gangs, and it that's where I think the darkness is here. Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. By the way, it's nice for him to like go back into the past and he's not like trying to figure out why there's a girl straddling him. Just saying.
I'm glad that we didn't return to that weirdness.
so
I'm
that was
glad
refreshing.
that was a one and done. Yes.
It's uncomfortable for all of us.
That was definitely refreshing because I'm like, oh
so he
my
comes
God,
back to the Sento and he's got like his two naked friends with him. So it was something. It was definitely something.
So.
Well, on that note, I think it's great time to move on to the next episode. 14, breakup. It turns out that Kiseki is the new captain of the 3rd division. They have this elaborate announcement ceremony thing at this temple, and Kiseki pops up.
Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be me?
Yeah, poor Takamichi. He's not even a gang member, as it turns out. He seems to openly disrespect Mikey by sitting on the step in front of him with his back to him. And we learned from, all of the murmurings that he was a former Mobius member. And the Toman gang are pretty unhappy about this choice. But Draken shouts out that it's Mikey's decision and they have to respect it. And Mikey doubles down by saying they're going to need him because they need to grow, and they need him so they can fight Valhalla, who are the real enemy at this point, supposedly. Now, Draken, while openly defending Mikey, he expresses privately some qualms. He makes a comment under his breath about, what are you doing, Mikey? Which I think is interesting. And Takamichi, meanwhile, is seeing Kiseki, and he definitely is feeling all the feelings about everything that's happened to him up until this point. So he basically freaks out, rushes up to Kiseki and attacks him, shocking everybody watching. And the captains all kind of confront him and accuse him of disrespecting Mikey, but before anyone else can do anything about it, we see someone come up and smack him in the face. And this is where we meet 1st Division Captain Keisuke Baji, someone who Takamichi doesn't recognize. He beats him down for disrespecting Mikey's decision, it seems. But Mikey pops up and asks what Baji is doing there, because Baji has been banned from these meetings. there's a bit of a back and forth where Baji tries to provoke Mikey to kick him out, and Mikey doesn't kick him out. So he announces his intention to join Valhalla. It's all very public. And Kiseki, meanwhile, seems to relish this internal discord that's happening. He grins through all of this. And then he turns around, mocks Takemichi, and punches him out. When Takemichi regains consciousness, he muses on how things are going wrong already with his plan, because he's clearly not going to take that 3rd Division captainship. But Mikey's right there, and he kind of discusses this organization with him for a minute, and his attempts to grow Toman, his plan, and decides he asks Takemichi for a favor. He says, I've got a childhood friend that I've always picked fights with. Turns out it's Baji. And Baji also happens to be kind of nuts, aside from the one moment we see him. And Baji is actually one of the founding gang members of Toman, along with Mitsuya, Draken, and Pa. The 5 of them are who established the gang. Mikey asks Takemichi to bring Baji back from Valhalla, and Takemichi agrees wholeheartedly, but asks in return that Kiseki be kicked out. He begs him. He begs him to expel him from the Tokyo Manji game, saying that he can't explain why, but he will destroy Toman if he doesn't. Mikey agrees to this condition, but tells him that if he can't get Baji to return and prove that he's more useful to him than Kiseki, he will kill him for his failure. Mitsuya, who's been eavesdropping on this whole conversation, comes and joins them, and at this point, Mikey makes Takemichi an official member of the Tokyo Manji game under the 2nd Division, which is led by Mitsuya. As Takemichi cleans himself up after the fight, after having his face beat up for the millionth time on the show, he discovers a charm that someone dropped, and in it there's a photo of the young founding members of the Tokyo Manji game, but shockingly he discovers that there are actually 6, not the 5 that Mikey told him about. And he doesn't recognize who the 6th member is, but we note that he's got dark hair and he's got a tattoo on his neck. At this point, the episode ends with Baji meeting a tattooed individual in an alley, and he calls him Kazutora.
And that tattoo is in a very interesting looking spot. A very similar looking spot.
Yeah, it is implied visually that this is the same tattoo as the person in the picture. So yes, it's probably the same individual. Yeah, so we need a new character who we've never heard about before now, but apparently he's important. Kiseki's kind of a psycho. This we've learned. We met him immediately. But Takemichi, he lost control for a minute. What are we thinking about this episode? This was a busy episode as well, and how it relates to the previous episode now that he's back. Let's start with you, Laser.
I loved it. I wanted to kind of throttle Takemichi, like, why would you hit him? Why are you putting yourself on his radar? But on a visceral sense, I get it. And I think it accidentally may have actually helped him with the Toman gang at large, because not only did he take the shot, he also took the shot back, and he didn't try and run away, or he stood his ground.
Yeah.
And that's gotta count for something.
Respect.
I mean, that's what these gangs are all made of. Like this sort of storytelling, these kind of gangs, it respects everything.
Mm-hmm. And they're in some kind of internal mysterious set of rules that they all go by. Yeah. I also think is interesting that this is how we're introduced to Kiseki. He comes seemingly out of nowhere, and he immediately gets a high position. And Mikey is pretty aware of Takemichi's feelings. And if you think about the conversation they had 2 episodes ago at the hospital, where he's like, "You seem to
Mikey
know
knows something's up."
Yeah, he's like, you seem to know things. I know you don't have to tell me why. So him responding and he giving him a chance, I think is very fair from Mikey's perspective as a leader. He's giving him a chance, like, you need to do this to bring this guy back. It does seem, I don't know if anyone thought this. I thought Baji showing up and doing that felt very performative. It felt staged to me. Like his intention, he was, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's not fully formed, but
I
the way
think
he
he
did
was
it,
trying to test Mikey to see where he was, to
just
see what the reaction would be.
something about it just felt off to me. I don't know. Maybe I need to see the next couple episodes. I can't really
I
fully
mean,
articulate why,
it
Mm.
but it
wasn't
felt
just
off
like
to me.
there was definitely something to it. I read it one way, but it could easily be something else.
How did you read it?
I read it as him testing Mikey, seeing
Okay.
how Mikey would react. Because he didn't just show up and say, "I'm leaving, I'm out." He could have. He could have made a huge show of, "I'm quitting this game. If you care about power, blah blah blah, you'll come with me." But he didn't do that. He basically made a thing talking about it, and then he did I'm dramatic leaving. But he waited to get Mikey's reaction first. That was a test.
I I don't know. Again, I don't have enough information to base this off of at this stage, but I'm not sure it was Mikey who he was doing this for. It was like he
Okay.
was just I don't know who he would be doing it for, but it was definitely like he was trying to make a point that he was going on the outs with Mikey in a public way so that he could leave. He wanted someone to see that.
He wanted to
That's
see that
all
he
I
didn't
got.
immediately leave, though. So, like, if he just wanted to leave and be like, I'm leaving.
Well, like there had to be he couldn't just show up and just I think it had to be like provoked. Like there had to be a moment of like a reason why he would just leave and go to Valhalla. So he could say like, "See, this gang disrespects me. I'm joining Valhalla and this will be I don't know. It just I'm not sure I'm buying it. I don't know if I buy
That's
it.
fair. That's fair. I see
Yeah.
where you're coming from.
I I think I feel like I'm onto something. Not sure what it is yet though. My instincts are telling me this is important. Yeah. Paul, what did you think of this episode?
Well, um, yeah, I mean, now that you say that, I have to actually agree with you on that. I think there might be some other motive for him to do that because, you know, he's been banned from all these meetings, and now all of a sudden you decide to show up and say
Mhm.
something. Yeah, so something is up there. But I also find it interesting that Takamichi finds that picture. And
Someone
it's just
set that
like,
for him to find.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Somebody set that there, I believe. So maybe this is a test to see if how loyal Takamichi is, and then to bring him in. And maybe they did know that Takamichi would be pissed off that, and I'm gonna screw up his name.
Kisaki?
Kisaki?
Kisaki, yes. Um, maybe they thought that, okay, this is gonna piss him off, but we're not really concerned about that. We're more concerned about is he loyal? Is he, you know, because there again, this dude is not even part of the gang, and now all of a sudden he's part of the gang. And I would assume that Mikey eventually, before now, wanted to bring him into the gang in some way, fashion, or form. But I'm wondering if maybe this is a test to put him into a higher position just to make sure that they don't make some stupid mistake. It could be. I mean, maybe I'm going a little too far with that, but
You
that
think someone else is trying to recruit him from outside of Toman?
no, I think Mikey's just making sure that, you know,
So you think Mikey told
Takamichi.
his buddy to go pull the stunts to test Takamichi?
No,
Correct.
this is real. He wants Takamichi to go back and bring him back.
Yeah.
I don't think
No, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
that either.
Mikey
I was just
thinks-
clarifying that was the
I don't
assertion.
I don't think
Yeah.
Mikey, just my opinion, I don't think Mikey thinks Baji was putting on a show. I'm
No, I
saying
don't think so either.
I'm saying I think he is. That's me. I don't think Mikey
Yeah.
thinks that.
I mean, it could be Baji is actually doing this himself to see something, whether it be
I don't know.
involving Takamichi or something else.
Not enough
But-
information because we just
but again-
barely know this
I
guy.
just don't know.
But
I
again,
don't know.
it's just very interesting that picture happens to be right there for him to find.
I did think that was
I find
interesting. I'll agree. Yeah. I
You know what I
that
mean?
was
Like-
Somebody wanted him
Fell
to
out of
find that.
Baji's pocket.
It could have
I
also,
mean,
fallen out of Baji's pocket on accident.
Here's
It could have been-
here's the obvious answer. Mikey wants him to find him. Maybe Mikey left it for him.
Yeah, it could be.
He's the only one around still, besides
Mm-hmm.
Mashima.
Well, that's what. Well, it could have been him too,
too,
because
yeah.
he was in the shadows, and you know, he is one of the
I
founding.
don't think this was a big
he's one of the
orchestrated
founding
plan.
members, right?
This was clearly somebody's like. That's why I think it might most likely answer is Mikey, because Mikey's the one that said, "Okay, go do this." He could have set that as a way to help him without being obvious about it.
By the way, I love how like Mikey's like, if you don't bring him back, I'm going to kill you, and I'm like, Mikey, I don't think you're going to kill Takamichi. So that's
I don't
nice.
know. I think he might. I don't think that was a.
idle threat.
No, I don't think it was an idle threat at all. I don't think he wants to kill Takamichi. I don't think that's what he
absolutely
wants.
not.
But
Absolutely not.
I think this comes down to gang coherence.
Yeah,
He just brought in this new guy, and the first thing Takamichi does is dex him. And then he brings Takamichi into the gang for a purpose. If Takamichi fails that purpose and is causing division within his gang, he's got to do something about it.
well, he also
don't-
said that he would kick him out, kick what's his name out
If he succeeds, yes, because
Yeah.
that'll have proven Takamichi's worth.
and Mikey also admitted that he doesn't trust him either.
Yes,
So-
but again, if Takamichi can't prove his worth and he needs him for that strength, then Takamichi is a divisive person and he's got to take care of it. I think that was
Yeah.
very much Mikey talking business.
It could be.
Mhm.
It could be. I don't know. The longer that this goes on, I don't see Mikey doing something like that, though, to be all honest with you.
If he
Because
tells you he's gonna do it, I fully believe him.
I mean, he's in a bathhouse with them. I highly doubt that somebody that you're that close with is going to be like, hey, by the way, I'm going to kill you. So yeah, I agree. I think that he doesn't want to kill him, and maybe that is a threat. But I also don't think I could see him doing that, at least at this stage of the game. So maybe I'm just thinking it's both. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to know more about Baja. Like, what is he always an asshole, or is
The
because
way Mikey
they're
tells
like-
it, yes.
He's
Yeah.
always
Yeah,
picking
'cause, like,
fights.
he walks by a car and sets it on fire because he's hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
That
what
struck me
Mikey
as
told
well.
us.
I was
I'm
like,
a little-
okay,
I'm worried about this guy.
yeah, no kidding.
I don't think I'm worried about the other gang anymore. I'm more worried about Baja. So,
Baji.
can we
Baji.
Baji, whatever. So yeah.
I think you
I
want your
don't-
Baja Blast a little too much.
No, you know what? When I was watching it, the captions were up, and it said, I think it says it's supposed to be Baji, but it looks like Baja, and I'm like, yeah.
I
So
think you need reading glasses.
I think you need some
I
Mountain
think you
Dew.
might
How
be
about
having
that?
some hallucinations here.
Well, it is 9:40 at night, so you know
That's fair. That's fair.
that is very fair. So, anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about that. But again, you know, this is just this show gets more interesting by the minute, to be honest with you. So,
And it does.
At least this one I want to watch.
Steven, what do you think? What do you think about this episode?
I like it. It was interesting what you guys pulling talking about that photo that he found. It was tucked in between a good luck charm, because I seen enough animated to recognize that thing that they're holding is a good luck charm in one way or another. So it was tucked in between there. That was interesting to see that there were five that Mikey said, but 6 in the photo. So what happened to that one guy? And then as we seen him later on, something happened between them that he went into a maybe different gang. So somehow that's important somehow, with the mark of a tiger or something as a tattoo. So that is interesting. Yeah, him, Takamichi decking that guy, I get it. I get what he was trying to do, but dude, you like, I don't know what you were doing in that moment. I mean, I understand the passion behind that, but you just hold your tongue, man. Just wait till a different time to do that, or talk to him privately and decide, like, hey, I come from the future. I know everything. You're gonna kill people in the future and everything. Then punch him and beat him up. Oh no, he's gone. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, he lost control. His emotions
yeah.
got the better of him.
And I get that. I mean, everyone goes through that. I mean, I did that a few times in high school and everything, so I get that. But
Just
dude,
went and wailed on some dude.
yeah, during a ceremony at a midnight hour temple,
Gang initiation.
gang initiation, that they had no adults there. They're in the some temple area at night, which is like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what you're doing. All of you guys in lockstep, their dry cleaning bill or cleaning bill must be expensive, all of them. And then Takamichi, the
word,
shirt.
Steven.
I'm always, yeah, I know.
It's the most random thought ever.
It's always about the uniforms with you.
It's about weird stuff with me, okay? Takamichi's shirt said "My Way" on it, and I'm like, oh, dude. Every time you see him have a new shirt.
Telling you,
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
shirt
thinking.
thing is relevant. Like
It has to be, dude. It has to be.
He always wears shirts that like say something in really funny moments. Like I think they're like little messages
He punches
from the artist.
Yeah. He punches the guy, and it's like he's doing it his way. It's my way. I'm like, yep, I guess you are laying down there, getting beat up and everything. But
this is the way.
Yeah, this is the way. Yeah, it
I
was
was
a
looking
great
for another
episode.
anime reference. I'm like, are we just going around Evangelion like around the block here with the Frank Sinatra song?
Yeah. Sooner we're going to be talking about the what was it? It wasn't the moon one. It wasn't Under the Sea. It was, which one was it that they banned from Evangelion that they couldn't play it anymore?
It was Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah, Fly Me
to the Moon.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a relevant episode. That didn't give too much, but we finally got to see who our big bad of this arc is. Who knows what we're going to figure out? Because I mean, there's so many theories out here that I'm throwing out, Paul, everyone else is throwing out, and we're not getting that much information. So it's a good show, but man, they need to feed us a little bit more.
Yeah, that's obviously intentional. That's why, like, I didn't want to jump to any conclusion. I just thought this was just an observation. Was all I was trying to give. Like that was an observation I had, that there was something off about the whole situation. Yeah.
One last thing, them dropping that thing on the ground. Tokyo, I mean, has like, not saying they don't have litter, but people pick things up and everything else if they drop it or they know. But someone had to leave that intentionally. I mean, what dude is carrying a pitcher in a good luck charm with him every time to a gang initiation. What are you hoping not to be killed that day? Is that like a secret idol from like Survivor? Oh my gosh, I found the idol. I'm not going to get voted off that day. I mean,
The only other thing I can think of as we're talking about this on that is that Baji left it as a way to leave the past behind.
Oh,
that makes sense
that's
to
deep.
me.
that's a good
That's
idea.
deep.
That's
That
I
is
only
really good.
just now thought of that because we've mentioned it a couple times. Like,
I'm not
that
going to
actually
jump to
could be it.
conclusions about something so innocuous, though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it
I
could-
don't know what it is.
I feel like it could have been on purpose. It could have been an accident. It could have been Baji's. It could have been Mikey's. But like I have no information to make conclusion either way, so I'm not going to jump down that rabbit hole. It's just more of a like maybe.
But we like
Mm.
rabbit holes.
I mean, I'm just theorizing. I'm not married to any of this yet.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just making observations about what I'm seeing and what it, something to keep note of, I guess. Like I know we joke about the other jumper, the other time jumper, but again, that's also something that's completely unfounded.
It's just a feel, yeah.
Yeah. Sketch, what are your thoughts about this episode?
That was a very understandable punch, even though it wasn't necessarily wise.
Mhm.
I mean, that is Takamichi. He's passive impulsive. one minute he's refusing to act. The next minute he's like, I'm going in.
Yep.
And then the next second he's like, oh no, what did I do? What did I do? Takamichi, what did you do?
Yeah, a little reckless.
Very, very.
I
Freaking
can't remember if it was
Kisaki's
this
like, so
episode.
you want you want a punch in the face or the gut? The gut. Oh, you clinched your gut, didn't you?
That was good.
Yeah, that was wicked. I don't remember
That
that
dude's
one.
such a troll.
Yeah.
To think that at this point in his life he's so nasty. You gotta be worried about what kind of adult he becomes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a pretty good idea. We saw it, and something that I was meant in one of these episodes. We found out why Akun did what he did this time, and it's because he was a family man now, and Kisaki got his family.
Yeah, Kisaki got his family.
I am
That's
no longer mad at
nasty.
Akun. I get that.
Yeah. That's nasty.
But that
Super
tells you
nasty.
exactly what kind of adult Kisaki
But
is.
also like the moment he does that, he's completely removed himself from any point of protection and he's no guarantee that his family will be safe. So I still think this was unwise. Like I understand him being forced, but yeah, you're dead now and now your family is still for all intents and purposes hostages and there's no reason Kisaki has to hold on to them alive. So I
Yeah.
just think
He
this
had
is
no
not
other
a good
choice.
long-term plan. I get
His-
it. Maybe he didn't have another choice. We don't know.
Yeah,
we
I
don't
can't think of
know.
where else he would turn to
His
go
choices
to get
are
help.
The
pretty
police.
limited.
The
Yeah,
police
they probably got somebody in the police.
Yeah, I don't know
Well-
why I would trust these police that never show
Maybe.
up.
I
except for
mean-
at the worst
Well, we
There
don't
are
time.
no
know.
adults in this universe.
Yeah, like we
There are
don't
no
know.
adults in this universe.
That's
Even in the
fair.
Yeah, but
present.
but
It's
weren't
like
they
the
having a
Peanuts.
hard
The adults
weren't they
are,
having
are
a hard-
kind of there.
weren't they having a hard
the
time
police
filing?
couldn't track down Kisaki. They couldn't get any
Yeah.
information on the guy. He was a ghost.
Exactly, yeah.
Which seems ridiculous. I might add.
They couldn't track him down, yet they know his name and they know he's in the past. That kind of
Yes.
doesn't make sense.
No,
You
that
know
makes perfect
something about it.
because he exists. He exists, so they know he exists.
I
'cause
mean,
he'd have a
Naota made
name,
the
he'd have an
conjecture
identity
that-
card.
At the beginning of this, Naota made the conjecture that you have to keep Kisaki from meeting Mikey. That'll stop all of this. Well, good
Yeah.
job on that, because you sure didn't succeed there. Mikey sought the guy out. I guess you can't really help that. But that's certainly
Well,
a
he
questionable
knows how they
choice
met.
on.
This was all after absorbing the events on August 3rd, absorbing the Mobius gang from their blowout when all that went sideways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I had a thought. What was it? Oh, right. I think Mikey It's actually kind of weird that Mikey has officially brought Takamichi into the gang at this point, because the task he has given him is not required of a gang member, and in fact, it's probably more useful if he's not.
I
But
actually think that was smart because he's already nailed Kisaki. And if he wasn't a member of the Tokimanji gang, Kisaki would be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kill you now." Now that he's in the gang, that gives Mikey
that's a good point.
Gives him a little bit of protection from that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't really think about that. Speaking of things I didn't think about, I only just realized that Toman is short for Tokyo Machi.
Dude, it took me to this episode too. Don't feel bad. For the longest time, I'm like, why are they calling it Toman?
Why are they calling it Toman? Well, it's an abbreviation, of course. You're not going to go around talking about the Tokyo Majin Gang. I actually thought that those were two different things. Like, Toman was like the junior division of the Tokyo Majin Gang. But that doesn't make much sense now, does it? But, yeah. I think it's interesting that he's tasking Takamichi with this particular job. I think Mikey is of the opinion that if Takamichi's good for anything, it's talking to people. So in that sense, he's Toman Negotiator. I don't know how well that's going to work out. I mean, he knows nothing about Baji, other than Baji just decked him.
I think we just need
for
to go hire
funsies.
Roger Smith.
So I don't know how well that's going to go, but also Takamichi's not much of a fighter, so having him do this job instead of, participating in other things is probably for the best.
Well, that's maybe, I don't know if that's a good thing because he might get set on fire by Baji.
Yeah, going after Baji is definitely not safe.
No,
but
not at all.
I guess Mikey has faith that something about Takamichi is special and he'll make it work.
Baji set a car on fire. We don't know if he's setting any people on fire. He just punches them.
Yeah. But he also might come into the crosshairs of Valhalla just by trying to keep Baji from joining Valhalla. And this other guy who was originally part of the gang, the Green Ranger, sixth member of the gang, he yeah, we don't know anything about them.
Actually, you know what? I want to know why Baji isn't allowed at the meetings.
I also want to know that. It's like, you're part of the union, but you're not allowed.
Because he punches people.
Yeah, it's probably he's too disruptive. Like,
probably.
They let him sit in on the meetings for long enough to realize, nah, he's really not helpful in the meetings. He can get the cliff notes later. He doesn't even really care about the details, probably. But it is weird that your first division captain is not allowed at the meetings. But I guess if he's disruptive enough, it does make sense.
That seems like that makes the most sense about him being disruptive.
I don't know why, like, the image of fire is in my mind because of that, but I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, he'll set the shrine on fire.
Maybe.
That he could do.
Maybe. So I noticed this comment in the chat from Mr. AJ Tibbs. From what little research I can do, Mr. AJ Tibbs says, visits to death row inmates are extremely limited and highly restricted. Not to say the writers aren't using this as an excuse to only exchange a very small amount of information, but I do know that in Japanese law system it is very strict, so it didn't feel weird to me.
That they had 4 minutes to talk. No, I get that, and that's why, I mean, they sort of infer there's an implication that this was a lengthy process because time passes and Naoto has to make the arrangements for them to go and they meet with him. But I would think a prisoner conversation would be at a minimum 20 minutes.
Yeah,
all that
with a cop in particular.
Yeah, that's why I don't care. If it was just Takamichi, I'd actually get it.
Yeah. With all that effort to go through, with all the work that Naoto had to do to set all that up, giving him 4 minutes seems like a waste, then you might as well have just
this
said
is clearly
no.
an investigative work on the Naoto's part, so why only 4 months for internal affair, you know?
Sure.
Mhm.
So that's why I think that was a bad scripting on their part, because I mean,
Possibly.
if you're gonna set up story wise the narrative that they made it clear that he had to jump through hoops to make this happen, then cutting it weirdly short, it just yeah, it's annoying. It doesn't seem to fit to me.
Hmm.
But I can understand I can understand it being difficult to arrange. That makes perfect sense. That's why, like, they can't just go back and keep talking to him, you know. They had to have one conversation and it needed to be meaningful. In which case
Yeah.
that should have been the rest of the episode then. Like, if I'm writing this out, then I would have had, like, okay, instead of push back the other events to the next episode and have everything that happens for the rest of episode 13 be focused around the conversation between Draken and Naoto and
Well, and if you want to
Takamichi
keep
in
the
jail.
mystery, so you don't want Draken to admit too much, show us that more detail. Where he's
Yeah,
like,
there
Yeah.
I
has
don't want you to know because I want you to get out of here. Like, you can have that conversation.
yeah.
But it was
I,
very rushed.
I was thinking too, it's a little weird that they were even able to have the conversation. And again, it's different probably in Japan, but I don't think you're allowed, like, somebody that's on death row is even allowed to have a conversation here in the United States with somebody. So it's like,
I mean, if you're a cop, you absolutely are. FBI investigators strike people on death row all the time.
oh yeah, I mean a cop
And that's what
probably couldn't.
and that's what this was. Now, yes, he
Hmm.
brought in a civilian to assist, but that also happens. You got to have a transcriber or whatever else, and you got to fill out all that paperwork. Which might make sense for it to take a while to set up. But this was not just a visit. You wouldn't be able to set it up that way.
Yeah, true.
Which is why a limited meeting is strange. There
In the
could be just a
US,
difference.
in the US, you can only have family, clergy, or attorneys come to death row. So Takamichi, assuming that there is a similar restriction in Japan, Takamichi's none of these things. So that was obviously like a mass, like Naoto really had to pull strings to make that happen.
Hmm. I'm also now that now that I'm thinking about it, like, I wonder who Draken killed.
That is
That's
the
what I
million
want to
dollar
know.
question.
I want to know who he killed and like why. He hates
Yeah.
Kiseki, but he seemed to
Definitely
be
got
doing
upset up
it.
by Kiseki.
Yeah, he seemed to be either doing it as bidding or, like you said, a setup. It was odd.
Well, he said he didn't regret it, which means whoever he killed was probably a obstacle for Mikey. But
Or
Kiseki egged it
maybe
on.
Kiseki told him to do this so that he wouldn't kill Mikey, maybe? I don't know.
No, I don't think that's the case. The implication from this is a while back. I think this was still in their honeymoon phase. Because
Could be.
the I want to kill Mikey's friends phase is clearly pretty new.
Well,
Otherwise,
we
it
got
would
plenty
have
more
started dying
episodes.
off a lot more for that.
Yeah. We'll find out, yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so unless anyone has anything else to add, I think we can finish up with a more less a more uplifting, I guess. I don't know, or neutral.
Uplifting question mark?
Let's go with neutral. A more neutral show with Blue Lock sketch.
More neutral.
Yeah.
Yes, I am once again handling Blue Lock. We were talking about episode 14, The Geniuses and the Average Joes. Take a guess at which one is Izuki. I said Isiki. It's like I'm combining Isiki and Kiseki. That ain't right. That ain't right. No. All right. So after the first match, having lost to Bachira, Nagi and Isagi are, kind of down in the dumps, very tired, worn out. But as soon as they see that Baro, of all people, the King Baro, has failed the first match, along with his surprising teammate, former Team Z teammate, Asahi Naruhaya, Mr. I know nothing about you. You didn't stand out at all. Yeah, but that's about to change. As he develops a clear case of I want to be a main character syndrome. So Baro got passed over because despite his excellent shooting, he is way too selfish. He's not a team player. But then again, are any of them team players? They're all supposed to be trying to be the best striker. And at first, Isagi's like, all right, well, maybe we should play against them. And then Naruhaya is like, didn't you read the rules? We got to wait like a certain amount of hours before we can even challenge again. There's a place for you to chill, take a nap, get some rest, chill out, man. Talk to you later. And talk to you later, he does. But we do see that. I love how Nagi's like, this is kind of like prison. It kind of is, isn't it? But at least they're beds, not just sleeping on the floor. That's a kind of an upgrade, depending on how you look at it. Maybe the futons are actually more comfortable. I don't know. But the food, I love Nagi being like, oh, this menu's so disappointing. And Isagi's like, first time. So Isagi goes out and trains with Blue Man, Blue Lock Man, trying to improve his shots, trying to hone his skills, and he gets interrupted by Naruhaya. Is all like, hey man, you and I, we're very similar in that if either of us lose, we're not moving on. We're not getting picked over Baro or Nagi. And it's like, yeah, you have a point. I hate to admit it, but you have a point.
Yeah, that's harsh. You hold very little value here, sir. Damn.
Yeah. Like, Naruhaya, what do you... Not like you've ever shown anything, which maybe be your secret weapon. Though, eventually Isagi does remember, oh, right, he's good at getting behind people. That's his secret weapon. But dude just calling him out is like, man, nah, neither of us are gonna keep playing if our team loses. So how about we... I'm not quite sure the logic behind that. If neither of us are gonna move on if we lose, then how about we play together? Like, okay. Not quite sure what the logic is of that is, other than Nagi and Isagi already determined, we could play against a weaker team, but then we'd have to pick a weaker player to join our team, and then we'd be at a disadvantage at the next one. So we really should be trying to play against someone comparable to ourselves, if not better. Hopefully they don't bite off more than they can chew this time. Oh yeah, after mad dogging him a bit, Naruhaya convinces Isagi that they should be playing against each other, and like, all right, let's do it. I don't see Baro and Nagi having any say in this matter, but whatever. Let me switch to announcer voice. At the start of the match, Baro takes the ball from Nagi, showcasing his increased shooting range and scoring. And in the next round, Isagi passes to Nagi, who uses his fine control to bypass Baro, allowing him to score. Later, Baro takes the ball, but refuses to pass to Naruhaya. Isagi steals and passes it to Nagi for another goal. Looking very frustrated out there, Baro tries a shot from the kickoff at the next round, but just misses the net. Isugi runs the ball, but is beaten by Naruhaya, who gets behind him and passes it to Baro for the goal. That's about all the announcer I need.
That's really good. I like that a lot. That made it way more interesting than what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is basically where the match ends at this. I mean, the match is still going on, but the match breaks at this point, and Naruhaya finally reveals his true reason that he challenged them, and it's that he knows that Isugi doesn't have the ability to score on his own. I mean, you might be.
He straight up says,
jumping to
"We picked
conclusions
you
there."
because we can beat you." Like,
Yeah.
damn. Oh, that
The
was a lot meaner of a thing.
disrespect.
Yeah.
This guy, it's always the unassuming ones, right? Just like with Kuon, it's always the unassuming ones. This guy,
Right.
Naruhaya, he's getting them crazy eyes. Like he's got some drive in him after all. I didn't really expect that from him. So I guess that's something. It's still not very interesting though. But the real surprise is when Baro passes to Naruhaya, and he makes his way past Isugi and shoots. That was surprising. Baro passing to Naruhaya.
Well, he passed to him, so he'd pass back to him. I think that was
That's
the way I
true.
read that.
That's true. He's like, pass it back to me, stupid. He's like, nah,
No.
Mago.
Yeah, you set him up for a goal. What do you think he's gonna do?
Yeah. I mean,
You know
there's
what
really
makes me
nobody in his
crazy?
way.
When they win this, they'll pick Baro, and Baro's such a fucking dick. I really hate that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Ugh. Now we're stuck with him for at least a couple more episodes. We have to deal with this asshole with an addiction to hair gel.
if they really want to drag this thing out, they will win. They'll take Baro. They will lose.
Baro.
For some reason, the
oh my
next
god,
team
they better
will
not
take
fucking
Baro.
do that. If they do that, I'm quitting this show. I can't do that. I cannot yo-yo. I cannot yo-yo like that.
I'm hoping that they don't do that. That would feel like if we're back to it's 2-on-2 and they're like, okay, we gotta play against somebody strong. Ugh, come on. So extra time. More of Rin's team, but this time with Bachra, who continues to be an exhibitionist. I like how the high-strung guy, his name escapes me at this time, is all like, yeah, it's not relevant.
It's really
the high-strung guy's like, oh man, this Bachra guy seems like pretty down to earth. Maybe I'll finally meet somebody normal on this team. And then Bachra comes out without even a towel, and he's like, oh no, I found another weirdo. And then Mr. Glamorous, Mr. Glamorous comes along and is like, oh, like, why don't you at least cover up your lower half? And then Bachara is like, I feel so free, it's wonderful. And Mr. Glamorous is like, you know what? You might be onto something. And then he takes off his shirt, at least it's just his shirt. And then Rin's in the corner is like, what a bunch of weirdos. And they all fire back, you're one to say that. That was a fun one. That was pretty fun. Blue Lock. I'm drinking a can of margarita right now.
It sure was a Blue Lock.
Yep. Paul, have you kept up with Blue Lock?
No, that one lost me.
Fair. Moving on.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It just lost me. That's it.
Laser, what are your thoughts on this episode of Blue Lock?
Not a lot. It was an okay episode. I don't have anything negative to say. but it didn't really. The thing that struck me the most was the extra time with Batra. That got my attention. That was funny. That was Batra being Batra. It was enjoyable. The episode itself was kind of like, okay, get on with it.
It was interesting to see Isaki and Nagi butting heads over
I
various
agree.
things.
That was
That
the
was
most
something.
interesting thing. Nagi is the most interesting thing about this episode overall.
Mm-hmm. True. That ball control, man, that's crazy. It's like just a little touch and he can like pass it to himself. Good plan against Barrow's. Like he's got to keep Barrow chasing. He realizes very quickly if he lets Barrow catch up to him, he's in trouble. But if he keeps him chasing, he can keep the ball out of his reach. Barrow's like, "Oh, you think I can't shoot that? Haha, I can." And then later, you think I can't shoot that? Oh, I guess I. You have your limits too, Barrow. King. The way Naruhaya always was like, yes, King. Yes, absolutely, King. Whatever you say, King. Suck up.
Well, Nagi was mocking him too started calling him that. That was funny.
Yeah, that was very funny. That was pretty great. Steven, rant about this episode of Blue Lock.
I shall. What is with this whole place? It is like you force people to play in this 3-on-3 game, and one of them is going to lose. It's a great idea because the 3-on-3 helps develop character within it, but we don't need to know these random characters that they just threw a dartboard. They took a dart, they threw it at a board. They're like, "Hey, this guy needs an idea. What kind of gimmick can we throw around?" It's like they had a bunch of Batman villains, and they're like, "Yeah, what should we do? The Condiment King. That's it." It's like they threw some, yeah. I don't know. I don't know with it. It was an okay episode. It wasn't really anything. They just sat there and talked, and then they got their butt beat because they're like, "Oh my gosh, he scored a goal," because Pepsi Man over there wasn't even watching it. I don't know. It's cool that they can fiddle with it and everything else and figure it out, but I don't know. At times I'm at a loss for words. At other times I'm looking at it, I'm like, am I watching an actual thing going on?
What did you
'Cause
think of the sleeping accommodations?
you know what? They don't give that to everyone. It's like, oh my gosh, you passed the second level. Here's a bed and a pillow. Like listen. The sleeping accommodations, it is a jail cell that they built into it, and they signed off on it. Each one of them signed off on it, and it's like you first gave them futons to lay on the floor because this is how they had to grow as a team, right? All of them sleep together, and now you're giving two of them a bunk bed. Imagine if they won. Okay, imagine if they won. Someone's sleeping on the floor. There's only two. Someone's sleeping on the floor. So it's the one that's like the odd one out.
You really
sleeping on
don't
the
think
floor.
they'll give him a
No.
third
Only
bed?
the losers went to this area. The winners
Yeah.
went somewhere else.
Yeah, they gave them bunk beds too. Where are you going to put the third bed?
We don't
Steven.
know that.
They
Steven,
spent
you really
money
don't
on
think
blue
they're going to
paint.
give him a third bed? You really don't think they're going to give the winners, the advance, a third bed? Come on.
I think I might
They
have saw
painted the
beds
whole
in
place
that,
blue.
in
Kuro.
that
Me
I
and
think
Blue
in that
have to do with
extra
beds.
segment
It's
there
not
were beds.
relevant. It's
They
not
wasted all
relevant.
the
I would
money on
like
the
to
blue
point
paint.
out the winners would need 4 beds, so they probably just got
Yeah.
another bunk bed.
Exactly.
Oh.
You're just trying to find flaws where there aren't any. Focus
Oh,
on the
you're right.
ones you
Yeah,
know
it
exist.
would be 2 bunk beds. All right. Do you think Rin would demand the top or the bottom?
He's a
Rin's a
bottom
top.
bunk guy.
Rin's the top.
Mm,
You like to think he
No.
was.
I think he's a bottom.
Insert
makes more
Rooster Fighter
sense.
joke here.
That's exactly what I mean.
The BL ranking.
There you go. The food is interesting. They gave him more food this time. So they didn't. It still was loser food, but they gave him more food this time. So that's an interesting take on it. That they
Well,
need.
Yeah,
to,
you got
more
the pickled
protein.
radishes and the natto.
Yeah, now they got that.
passed level 1, so it's better than level 1. You just haven't passed level 2 yet.
Where's the protein, man? Well, I guess there's protein in natto, but
They're not
enough.
getting. They're getting
It's
what?
natto
Miso
enough.
soup.
Not enough.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's the title of the podcast.
There you go.
Miso's sad about this meal.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with all this. Are they trying to make us like certain people that we didn't like, or are we just trying to face them off until they get to the next round? Because they're depressed if they keep losing after this.
Man, Isagi's about to lose it.
Did you see him? Did you see him pull his hair up and just like held him there and like looking in each other's eyes? I mean, if this isn't a thing about BL stuff, I don't know what is. This is a romance arc.
And
right now.
Nagi's like, what can I do to make this feeling go away?
Win.
It's the only way. This is the way.
Oh my gosh.
Jetix Lord with a comment in here. Jetix Lord. Jetix like the block. Awesome.
Heck
Love
yeah,
the name.
Jetix.
Shout out to Jetix. Actually, Block kind of seems like a Jetix show.
It kind of
really
does.
did, like, sports things. But I mean, this is it's probably, well, maybe they wouldn't have to censor too much. Other than Bachara.
Wow, yeah.
I do like Bachara a lot. Yes. Nagi's grown on me.
Jetix Lord in the chat says, I'm glad you guys seem to feel the same way I do. Like, I can't take it seriously. I honestly, like, how much I don't care about it when it's on its like funny joke every time. I'm like, I don't know. I don't GAF about whatever's going on in the show. It's one I don't have to focus on like with the others. It's a breath of fresh air. I never would have watched it if it wasn't on Toonami with other shows I care about. I'm always just watch anything that's on Toonami. That's what's fun about it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
100% would not have ever watched this.
That is true.
Toonami.
Because I would do that too. Like
I probably wouldn't be watching
it.
this. I really would. I mean, I had some interest, but Toonami's the reason I bothered to watch it at all.
Would you
That's
have made
my
it past
opinion.
the first 3 episodes on your own?
Oh God, no! I would have dropped it like a
I don't
hot
know. You see,
potato.
because the first episode was like, it's set up, whatever. The second episode, I was like, okay, this is something. This is something. But then I think even by the third episode, I was like, maybe not. Maybe not. Certainly by like the 4th or 5th episode, I'd be like, this has 24 episodes in one season. I'm good.
Yeah, I think I would have dropped it by at least episode 5, but probably at 3.
I am glad that I stuck
14.
around to an extent.
I am too.
Because
It did get a little
there
better.
were some really interesting things that happened later in the season. I mean, later before this half of the season, like around episodes 8, 9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's kind of hanging on for dear life. And at this point, I don't know.
I'm watching it because it's here. That's kind of why.
Pretty much. Kuro, are you watching it because it's here?
Yes, of course I am. I mean, I'm trying to find things I like about it. Like, I guess this last episode, I thought it was really funny how Nagi basically smacks some sense into Isagi, and
I
like
did like
Isagi is realizing, which is hilarious from who is presumably the main character, that he's not the main character to anyone else, that he's expendable, and like that was a huge reality check. That definitely makes things interesting. But Nagi, since I've lost Bachira, my focus is now on Nagi, who's coming into his own and developing dimension, especially with regards to how he views the game and how he plays the game. So I don't know if necessarily Isagi was the only one who could have unlocked that in him, but he certainly helped him discover a passion, and maybe by discovering the passion for the game, playing with any other player would have helped him discover his own puzzle pieces to what gives him his soccer superpower, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. So yeah, like he's at the stage, he's the one to watch. He would be the one they would take if they ever lost, but we know that's not going to happen. So now Isaka needs
They're
to
not gonna lose.
He's really got to just get better, and the worst part is he is getting better, but not good enough, and it's kind of sad to watch. Like, I just cannot see any way in which this ends with Isaki being the winner, but I do see this ending with a way that Isagi is relevant, because they pointed out, like, you can't do what you do without a team. There's a place. Hey, there's a place for that. There's a place for that. What is it called, Sketch? What position is that called?
Midfielder.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. Again, another reason. I wonder if like someone just said, I just want to jump into the show and tell him, you'd make a really good midfielder, my dude. Like, you have all the makings of the good one for this. So you could still shoot and score. You could still like be a star. I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I appreciated our read on the situation. I enjoy how much I don't care about it, because it's low investment, you're not necessarily upset too much at the losses, or you don't feel like as invested in it, maybe. I don't know.
I like the new opening.
Yeah, the new opening's solid. I just knew like I couldn't rewatch this episode today.
That's why I'm doing the recap.
Yeah. I told Schedules, like, I
don't mind.
can't. I just can't. But we have enough time to bring up a couple other things now that we have Paul. Might as well let him rant about Voltron.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
You mean
Alright,
the
time to go
fact
get some
that P-Lord's
popcorn.
in the corner right now?
I don't know.
Look, it was a live action movie that wasn't gonna come to Toonami.
I'm not
Oh, no.
surprised
No, I didn't think
that
that.
one is being made. I mean, they're making a freaking He-Man one, which I'm gonna see.
Oh, that trailer
So-
for that He-Man movie looks actually really good. I say that as a lifelong He-Man guy.
I just
mean-
feel like the amount of CGI you're gonna have to put into making this work is just gonna be so astronomically expensive. I question the practicality of making this a live action at all.
Well,
I mean,
they
there's
did
a-
Power Rangers twice.
And this is basically Power Rangers.
And remember the quality of that was.
Technically, they did Power Rangers 3 times.
Oh, well, yeah, but one was with like suits. Because they just did it like the show for Turbo. A Power
Yeah,
Rangers
Turbo
movie.
was.
It looked like they were wearing cardboard boxes that were painted, okay?
I will say I did not care for the
Yeah.
design of the Megazord in the 2017
2017, yeah.
Power
that-
Rangers.
It looked
I didn't think it
weird.
was a terrible reboot, though. I
No,
thought
the
it had
story-wise, it
some
was fine.
potential. It had some potential. They made some changes. I didn't like the suits very much.
I didn't like the
but-
suits, and I didn't like the Megazord.
The Megazord was ugly.
Yeah,
Just
that
gross.
The
Just
design
gross.
work on that movie wasn't great, but the story
I
was
trust whoever's doing Voltron knows how iconic that design is and isn't going to mess it up. And I say that because there have been many iterations of Voltron, and they always get that much right.
fine. No, they don't.
You know,
They're
What
What
I-
are you
what I don't
talking
get-
about?
third dimension.
what I don't get.
I guess I don't
Third
remember what it looked
dimension.
like in third dimension, but I didn't think it was
Third
that bad.
dimension.
I
Oh
mean,
my
it wasn't
God,
bad, but it
Victor.
wasn't the classic.
No, no, not at all. Let's not talk about Third Dimension.
I'll see.
Yeah.
I just like Third Dimension.
Now I'm
but
thinking about it.
Well, I mean, the CGI was it could have been
for
better.
its day, it was actually really good CGI. I have to remember it was the 90s.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Like it's
But
on par with
anyways.
like Beast Wars. But anyway,
Yeah. This could just be vaporware. They've been trying to do a Robotech movie for years.
they have been
They've
trying to
been
do a
trying to do
Robotech movie for
Thundercats.
like
Thundercats.
20 years now at this point.
Mhm.
Thundercats
I-
was on their list too.
But when Amazon MGM is attached, I'm willing to believe that they're actually gonna try to do it.
So,
Because they're doing He-Man.
well, first of all, like the previews for He-Man actually look good.
They do. They really do.
The only thing, my only thing
There better
that
be
I
a Skeletor
don't
meme in
like.
there somewhere.
I mean, they got Jared Leto to be Skeletor, so
what is the
That's-
funny?
that's
Yeah.
I thought that was Benedict Cumberbatch for a moment, but I've only seen the one ad. I was like, that sounds like Benedict
You wish it
Cumberbatch.
was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Anytime,
I really do.
anytime
that.
that somebody brings up Skeletor, I think of that one dude that does his voice, and he does like something funny or request wise, and then at
Oppenheimer?
the end, yeah, and at the end of
The
it, he's like,
original voice?
"Until we meet again." I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
there
God.
needs
yeah,
to be an
that.
until we meet again.
Oh my god.
So that's actually the only issue I have with that He-Man movie is the voice for Skeletor is just
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
they're
I
going
like it.
more.
I
They're
dig it.
going
That
more
it's
like
darker.
scary. It's fine
Yeah.
for the tone they're going for, and it's not the
I
first.
agree.
I remember the '87 He-Man where they got freaking Dracula to play Skeletor.
No,
Yeah, but you
I'm totally into the not
did-
whiny voice Skeletor. That
I
was
love
the
Goofy
cartoon.
Skeletor, but
series
it's-
had a really
Because
great
you don't
voice.
take it seriously in the cartoon. Like this is the Skeletor that wants to be taken seriously, and I'm here
Yeah,
for
but the
it.
2002 one was pretty serious.
Yeah, 2002 one was pretty serious. He was kind of like a mid-tone, and like he wasn't as goofy as the 80s, but he was a little goofy. I don't mind a goofy Skeletor in a serious situation as long as he's written well, because Skeletor was never the top tier threat in He-Man mythos. He's the regular threat. There are numerous cases in any iteration where He-Man and Skeletor have to team up against something way worse.
Oh my god, I'm so not that deep into the lore. I respect that
I'm
you are,
sorry.
but like I remember
I grew up with it.
I know, and I remember so
We all
little
did.
about this. I remember so little about this. So
it's funny. They made the original He-Man cartoon. Then they did the
New Adventures.
remake. Yeah, the New Adventures on Toonami, and that was actually
Toonami
good.
was the 2002 one. New Adventures is 90s.
New Adventures.
How
We
did-
don't speak of New Adventures of He-Man.
we were going to talk about Voltron. Why are
so
we
did I, but
talking
here
about
we are.
He-Man?
It's their fault. It's their fault, Kuro. It's not me. I was trying to talk about Voltron, and they
So
brought
let's
me
go to
in.
Voltron.
Voltron.
Then talk about Voltron, please.
Well, okay, so I think you all know my stance on if you're going to do a movie for movie theaters, you don't just do it for movie theaters and then go, oh, by the way, we're putting it on streaming instead.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's a good point. I do think
I'm
it's
not-
stupid that it's going straight to streaming.
so if you have such big names in this Voltron movie, why the fuck would you put it on any streaming service, let alone fucking Prime? Like,
Who the heck
What
is Henry
big
Cavill
names
gonna
are
play?
there? Yeah.
yeah,
The
fuck
black-
that. I don't care.
The Black Lion dude. The awesome.
Okay, I can
broody
see him
one.
being thin.
He's very broody. He'll be the tortured one, the hot one.
So that pissed me
He
off.
seems too old
Um,
for that. Like, how old are the space explorers supposed to be?
I think they're in like 20s, mid 20s.
He was
he's
he was
too old for
tortured. He
that.
aged considerably.
You're right. This is true.
Yeah.
He's got a whole silver hair lock. Okay,
Oh, you're talking about the modern one. That's a different character, yeah.
Shiro.
that's the one they're gonna adapt.
They're
They're
doing
gonna
Legendary.
They're gonna
adapt
base
that
him
one.
on. They're
They're
probably gonna
adapting
base him on
Legendary
Shiro.
Defender
He is-
specifically.
He's totally Shiro.
Because that's a unique character to just that version.
I know, and I like
That's-
that version.
That's an amusing.
also
the
fact.
only
It
one I
goes from
remember.
being voiced by Spider-Man to being portrayed by Superman.
It's also a one-off character compared to the general Voltron stuff. Like usually when I think of lead of Voltron, I think of Keith.
Yeah, he's not going to be Keith. I can't imagine him
No.
being Keith.
No.
Somebody had said that he was going to be the bad guy.
He could be
Oh,
Lotor. I could see Lotor.
Yeah.
oh, I kind of
I
like
can't
that.
see him being Zarkon, but I could
He's
totally see
way
him being
too
Lotor.
pretty to be the bad guy.
Lotor
Well,
is
he's
a
pretty
pretty
enough
man.
to be Lotor.
Lotor's a pretty
Yeah.
boy. That fits way too
Lotor
well.
is a pretty boy. You're right. So yeah, I'm not happy that they did that. I feel like they're setting themselves up for another Avatar situation. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out before it hits Amazon Prime. Let's put it that way. Or maybe Amazon Prime is smart enough to lock their stuff up and not let somebody in Japan hack them.
Oh boy.
Because apparently that's what happened, or whatever country this person was in. I don't know.
China.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, well, I mean, not to go back to He-Man, but it's like saying, it's like if right now He-Man obviously is being advertised for movie theaters, right? It's going to be in theaters in a couple weeks, actually. So it's like taking He-Man right now and being like, "Oh yeah, guys, sorry, we decided we're just going to put it on streaming." That's what it
That would
feels
be
like.
very silly. They have gone hog wild with the theater merch for He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's
They
a
have a Power Sword drinking.
Yes, they do. That is hilarious.
And
I
a
saw that
Castle
the other day.
Grayskull like a popcorn bucket. It's nuts.
It is nuts. It's very nuts. So
Well, one can hope by the time this movie is anywhere near ready, they'll be like, actually, let's do a big theatrical.
Well, I would say He-Man's actually a good comparison point. How well He-Man does could absolutely change
Yes.
how
That's
they
a good
decide to do
point.
this.
absolutely.
If He-Man
And I'm
does
sorry to keep bringing
numbers-
it back to that, but I think that's a valid comparison here.
Well,
for
but here's
them.
I mean, they're all kind of in the same universe of we want to try to do this, but we haven't yet kind of cartoon movies. So Thundercats is another one that you constantly
I would
hear
not
every
expect to
once
see
in a while.
Thundercats happen.
No.
I would eat my shorts if they, and I would really eat my shorts if they do a good one, because I don't trust Warner Brothers with it at all.
I
They can't
I
even
would
get the
be
symbol
interested to
correct
see.
on their merchandise.
Oh, that's true.
They literally use a fan drawing that is not
Yeah.
accurate to the original drawing on all of their DVDs and posters and everything. They do
By the
not
way-
care about Thundercats.
By the way, speaking of Voltron, because I'll bring it back before Kuro kills me. There was something I read today, or it was yesterday. They said that test audiences were actually enjoying what they had. So it's like your test audiences are saying it's good, but are you saying it's not good enough to be in the movie theaters where you can make money?
So they
Because I'm
have
going to be honest with you.
They have
Go ahead.
a product that's watchable at this stage. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be more
That's-
concerned about how seriously they'll take it in terms of like writing, because a lot of where these films go wrong is bad writing, and then they come out
Absolutely.
cheesy. And if it's not,
Mhm.
if the action isn't fun enough to make up for the cheesy writing, then that's where you're gonna bomb.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the question here is, are you going to do this as if we're dropping into knowing these people and this is like Voltron
That would
is
be a
already
very
there?
foolish thing to do at this point.
Right.
Doing
No,
a
but-
movie like this, you're trying to get new audience.
Right. But so are you doing that, or are you going to do what you should do, which is an episode 1 kind of thing where, everybody finds the
Like
lions, they do Voltron,
Super
whatever.
fast tracked, yeah. Super fast track. They find their lions.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I'd like to see what they come up with. So,
If I was doing a movie, I would actually not fast track them getting those lions. I'd make it about midway for the movie. Really build up this world, really build up the threat, build up the legend, make it like this unobtainable thing, and then when they get there, it's like an achievement, because that's how
You know what
kinda
I would
felt.
do? I would make it an animated series. Oh, wait!
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
There
there's
is a good one
I know
already.
those.
There we go.
It should be on Toonami too.
Well, I just don't I don't understand. I feel like a lot of these adaptations get like you lose something in the
I agree with you,
process.
actually. Even the one that looks good that I'm not going to mention for trying not to get too
No,
sidetracked.
it's fine. It's fine. I mean, you're the He-Man expert, so you would be the person to notice it
It
because
looks good, and I'm excited. But if I'm being honest with you, they have not done a good He-Man product since the 2002 show.
tell you what, I didn't even know that's what it was. I didn't know it was He-Man. I kept seeing the same ad on Amazon, and like it piqued my interest. And I mentioned it to my partner. I was like, is this another one of those like because of the style of the intro, the headline with the title looked very Marvel-esque, and I was like, is this another one of
They
those like
definitely
Marvel
played with the
movies? And
logo, yeah.
yeah, do I need to watch like 40 of these movies to understand what's happening? And he's like, well, I think it's based off of, remember that show from the 80s with the muscular guy? I was like, He-Man! And then suddenly it clicked for me when I watched the ad subsequently, it all came together. I was like, oh, that's right, He-Man, Master of the Universe. Oh, and it came together. So initially when I saw the ad, I had no freaking idea that it was about He-Man. I had to put that together because I'm a little dumb. But I'm thinking like I can't have been the only one to have not seen that, So I there's something about it, like while it looks cool, uh I don't know, like why do we need a real adaptation? Why do we need that?
They're trying to rejuvenate it for modern audiences because
Yeah.
again, the last time that it was done well was 24 years ago, and they've done an adult version on Netflix, and they've done a child version on Netflix, and they weren't the child one was better than the adult one, but they were both kind of
Yep.
eh.
Hey,
No,
sometimes a superhero can be of its era. Not everything has to be
I would
rediscovered.
agree with
Maybe
you.
we can. I'm not saying we need to relegate He-Man to that, but I'm pointing out that like maybe how about come up with something new and original instead of
Fully in
revisiting old
agreement with you on
material.
that. These
the
companies have
problem
these
is,
licenses that used to be something, so they
yeah,
really want to do
Yes, this
something
is
with
about
them.
money. This is about
This is 100
licenses, and
percent
they want
about
to keep
money. That's 100.
absolutely
Well, and
sure.
there's
well,
also with He-Man, there's questions of ownership between Mattel and the guys who own the cartoons, and
Hmm.
I think there's some IP struggle going on here.
Sure, this all makes sense in a business sense. But from a viewer sense, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It came out of nowhere. I never even
yeah.
heard of it being developed. I never heard about it being filmed, and then suddenly there was a trailer.
Which way I could apply that statement that I said to either Voltron or He-Man.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because Voltron has a very recent adaptation that was doing really well, perfectly serviceable, and very popular on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue, actually, sorry, Laser, but I would argue that the last cartoon version of Voltron was actually really good.
Would agree.
Towards the end, it kind of got a little bit in the weeds, but I mean, for the most part, it actually was really good. The animation in it was excellent.
Yeah.
Um, and like I would say is,
Well, I wasn't shooting on Voltron. I was shooting on Modern He-Man.
oh, okay, well, we're getting these mixed up anyway, so.
Exactly. We are, which I knew would happen, but that's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just one of these people that's like, if you're going to make a movie and you're going to say, hey, we're going to put it in theaters, and then you pull it, even though it's getting good reviews from people that have done test screenings, what is going on? Like, do you not have faith in this and you just want to just throw it on there because you promised to do this? Like, if I were the people that were behind Voltron, I'd be pissed right now, to be honest with you. I mean, it'd be one thing if this was being put on Netflix. It's a whole different thing that it's just being put on Prime.
Wait,
Sorry
so
to say,
there's
but
like a test version of this movie already?
apparently, I'd have to go and look it up. To be honest with you, I'd probably have to Google it because there's no way I'm going to see it on my social media feed again. It might pop up. Who knows? But they said, I swear that I saw they had done test screenings on it and they were all positive. So it's like, if that's the case, then why stream it? And by the way, I'm going to be honest with you. AMC, is it AMC Prime? Is that what it's called now? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it's, oh, no, I'm sorry, not AMC. It's Amazon MGM, I think is what it is. Yes, it is. Now that I'm looking at my email, it is Amazon MGM.
But who
That's
is this
probably
for? We keep saying, the phrase like a new audience comes up, but like who? Who is this for? Who is this film
Oh, this isn't for a
for?
new audience. Are you
The-
kidding
the-
me?
Oh, I'm sure they think it is.
No, that's stupid. It's not.
An
What is
attempt
this new
to
audience
court
consist of?
both the new and the old.
That, yeah.
What does this new audience look like? Like, what's the demographic?
You
Kids.
got
That's
me.
what I'm trying to figure
Yeah.
out.
When they say new audience, that's keyword for the next generation. The kids who have no idea what this thing is.
So they're
Which-
thinking teens from 13 to 18. They're trying to get teens, presumably
It's-
boys.
This is the same
Maybe.
thing that any long running
boys?
franchise does. You'll see it with Star Wars. You'll see it with Indiana Jones. You'll
Oh my
see
God,
it
I'm
with
so
any
sick
of
of
these
fucking Star Wars. Sorry,
No, I get you. I get you. But that's why they
inundated
keep
with
doing
that
it.
shit.
I'm coloring very loosely because I could rant for hours on that. But this is a
Yeah, sorry.
problem.
No, that was off topic. Yeah, I just trying to figure out like what's this new audience that they're attempting to capture.
Perhaps I should
Honestly-
rephrase to
Demographic.
younger. It's younger
So-
audience. It's new people that don't already love it.
So
That might have
let me give
also
you-
gotten the same thing from an animation though.
let me give
what
you
specific audience and a specific age group that would not have watched the animation? That seems like a
I'm-
small demographic to me.
I don't see, that's the thing. I don't think that they're going for a younger audience. I think they're just going for the people that have seen Voltron, our age, that have seen Voltron and want to see a live action film. I
Do they?
think
Do any of you?
because here,
Real
Not
question.
really.
Do any of you?
I mean, I'm
If
interested.
I would check it out, but would I be overly interested? No.
No, I mean, I'd be interested
I'm
more in
checking
an
out
animated
because
version.
it's Voltron, not because it's live action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more
But
interested in the animated
we're
version.
animation fans.
That is true.
Exactly.
We are very much
Well-
the
They're trying to court the people that were convinced to watch One Piece because of the Netflix show.
that's exactly who they're trying to court.
Okay.
I
Yes.
actually think here. Wait a minute. I think what it is, and this is just my thought process because now all of a sudden I'm starting to see stuff like this pop up. Ever since Barbie did well, they've been trying to go to these old IPs and go, what's going to be the next one like Barbie? Because remember, Barbie's also interjected with He-Man and Voltron because there was a TV show for it. And everybody back in the day when me, Laser, and Sketch, as old as we are, were young, young girls had a ton of Barbies. Like I remember girls having like collections
Barbie
of
never
fucking Barbies.
really had a TV show. It
did
least
have an
not a
animated show.
streaming one. No, not
No,
back in
not
the
a
day.
streaming one.
Not
I
back in
remember-
the
I
day.
remember it as a
You're
kid.
thinking of movies, maybe. There were a lot of movies.
Movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of direct-to-video Barbie, like 3D animated,
But there wasn't a
films.
TV.
Oh, maybe there was that, but
Maybe
I
you're
thought there was
thinking of
also a
Gem.
cartoon. It wasn't like
There wasn't a show for Barbie until like my niece was a little girl. So
Yeah, it's a more recent development that they had like a multi-episode show of Barbie on.
anyway,
streaming, I think.
let's
but
get
see
to
the
the
point that
point.
I was trying to make is
get to the point.
I think they saw that and they went, okay, what else can we tap into? Oh, He-Man seems like something that maybe we should revisit. So they're bringing that back. I think Voltron, while not necessarily, that being part of it, I think they also are trying to do something new with it. But I don't think that's more for, again, it's not for kids. I think it's just for older audiences. So I think you're going to start to see more of this. To Sketch's point, you might start to see, well, I mean, you already are starting to see
There are
these
some old
anime
Voltron
getting live
fans
actions.
that maybe wouldn't watch a new animated version of Voltron, but with if it looks good enough, they might be interested in a live action one because
True.
of the stigma against animated films.
I mean, if to be honest, if I had my way with Voltron, I'd want them to basically do the original series, but do it actually done well. Because the original series lives very strongly in my heart. But if you actually watch it, but I'd love to see them like do a redo of that. Like use those concepts, use that draw art style, do the Go Lion look, and the characters established and the lore, but do it from a ground up perspective.
I mean, keep in mind they're also doing a Gundam movie too, so
Well, we're not going
Allegedly.
down that rabbit hole.
No, we're not going down the rabbit hole. I'm just making the
No.
point that you're seeing a lot more of these live actions coming out of the woodwork, and
These
maybe
come in
you're looking
cycles. Like we saw a bunch
Yeah.
of them 20 years ago too. So
Yeah, and
Transformers,
maybe
anybody?
well, I think you're gonna continue to see more Transformers, hopefully.
And everybody acts in front of a screen now.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
So-
the part that I'm just.
Might as well
Oh,
be
Steven's got
animated
something to
if
say.
almost
It might
everything's gonna be
exactly
animated.
Sketch.
Mhm,
Exactly. It might as fucking well be animated. Thank you.
All right, before
that's
we
that's my
Yeah,
point.
we could keep going down this rabbit hole for sure.
Yeah, so before we go anywhere, it sounded like Steven had something to say about this.
I have found some information for all
Oh,
of you
good.
about the Voltron film. So the primary demographic is a general audience looking to be people between age 13 to 35. The nostalgia audience from 35 to 50 is a minor
That's about what I was
goal
expecting.
for them. So while they will pander to that for all the Easter eggs and everything else, they're not going for that general information. They're going to do that with the primary audience who like sci-fi and fantasy elements, but not actually establishing the brand of He-Man.
Oh, we're
that's
talking
for
about
He-Man.
He-Man. We're not talking
Yeah.
about Voltron. I was confused.
I
for a
know. No, sorry about that. But
minute. No, it's okay.
I had to get that on you. What the general audience is for that, for the He-Man one. For
Yeah.
this Voltron one, I found what Paul was talking about, the live action test screenings for that Amazon. So a lot of people liked it through the positive reaction through the recent test screening. This was about December 2025. Through sources and videos. Most of it says, so previous reports suggested it would head straight to streaming back in 2025 through Amazon Prime Video rather than open in theaters. They didn't know as of that time, but the release plan was still undecided, but they were still confirming that there would be a streaming release alongside a theatrical one if they were going to do so. The movie, people describe the movie as enjoyable, even though it is not award-like material as Amazon would like to have it. It would probably never going to be. Leak Reaction said the movie is not a reboot. Quote, it acts as a direct sequel to the 1980s animated series filled with references to the original storyline. The plot follows the new
That's a choice.
intergalactic war between the Galaxy Alliance and the Galera Empire, who have freed the ruler Emperor Zarkon. As conflict spreads,
Okay,
the
now I'm
galaxy-
actually interested.
As conflict spreads, the galaxy calls once again for the legendary defender Voltron. Voltron is formed by the robotic lions. The lions are dormant since Zarkon's defeat. You have the new film. The film's lead character, Mac, is a young man from Earth who figures it out. And Henry Cavill is a supporting but significant role in this movie. Yet that is a spoiler. I do not want to say that in case you guys want to watch that. And he is a respected figure and repeatedly stood out to viewers in one scene. There you go.
Actually
The
gives me a pretty
screening-
good guess about who he might be.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The screening.
And,
Yeah. There you go. That's about
I'm
it.
now
Not Kuro.
imagining a mustache.
Yes, me too.
He does look good with a
well,
mustache.
I think that's a really good place to end this then.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
conversation, yes.
Yes.
Yes. This conversation.
This conversation is now over.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit those other
Dad.
news items. I'll try to be quick with them.
Yes, be quick with them, please.
Okay. So first up, another Toonami alumni is getting a little resurgence going on in Japan. Yeah. And that would be as comicbook.com refers to it, Toonami's strangest anime. I don't know if that's actually true.
That's not true at all. It's definitely not the strangest.
You know
It's
how
strange.
many Fooly Coolies there's been, bro? Uzumaki? Like,
What show are
come
they calling
on.
the strangest?
Bo-Bobo. I mean, it's
at
up
least a
there.
contender. It's a contender.
It's top 5 strangest for sure. For sure.
They
I mean,
apparently didn't watch Woolen Warriors.
we had Pop Team Epic.
Gotta reset the Woolen Warriors reference clock.
Oh, we gotta
Oh,
reset the
no.
Woolen Warriors clock.
Ah, thanks, Paul. You gotta go reset the Woolen Warriors clock.
I threw a shoe at it. It started convulsing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How was
Wait,
my
what did I
bad
do?
Sean
I'm
Schimmel?
sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
Woolen
Woolen
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yes, you're saying. Go on.
It's almost a shame we didn't get more than 2 episodes of that crap. It wasn't entirely unentertaining.
Hardly,
yes.
But it was like you
actually.
said.
Yeah.
It was
But,
like you said, crap.
Yeah. But the real shame is that we didn't get a proper adaptation of that awesome puppet show.
Oh yeah.
And man,
We are tangenting again.
yeah, Thunderbolt
Bo-Bobo.
Thunderbolt Fantasy, which is available subtitled on Crunchyroll, definitely worth your time if you like puppets. I actually haven't really watched it, but I hear good things. But yes, Bo-Bobo is getting a actually previously announced a live stage show. That's
heard about that.
something. That's something. But this report coming from comicbook.com that Kuro threw at me was about a exhibition that's happening in Osaka, Japan, and Tokyo around September and October. And the official hilarious description from the anime exposition reads, the project is a Hajikirist training program designed to liberate souls of modern people bound by the meaning and correct answers. So stop thinking and become a Hajikirist yourself. That will surely become the energy that will help us survive tomorrow in the modern age. At this venue, you will learn firsthand about the battlefields of Hajikirists, release your energy, and witness their legends. After going through all of this, a magnificent burst of energy will unfold before you. Now your wildness will be put to the test. And I was like, okay, what is this in relation to Bo-Bobo? And apparently Hajike is the art and philosophy of doing bizarre and unexpected things in order to confuse, fight, outdo others as a regular way of life. And yes, that is definitely a Bo-Bobo thing, but I'm a little disappointed
yes.
it has nothing to do with hair.
You know, it's funny how Japan gets these sort of microcultures of these shows. They just pop up, and then like stuff like this will come out of it.
Reading that article reminded me, or maybe even informed me, that there was a second Bo-Bobo manga that never got adapted.
Yeah, that's where I was hoping this was gonna go when you started talking about Bo-Bobo.
Yeah. Well, the article's all like, it's getting
It's Is
getting
lie.
it's a
They didn't
it's a
even finish
lie.
adapting the first manga.
It's
They're
a
like,
lie.
just kidding.
Planning a 2026 return. No, it's planning a 2026 celebration. But yeah, with the steak show, who knows? Who knows what's going on here?
Anyway.
And here's a news item that I think we should have talked about first, because the last show we talked about was Blue Lock, and that is coming from @AnimeTrends on Twitter. So I don't know how verifiable this is, but Blue Lock is real.
Oh yes, I saw that. I did see that on Twitter.
Japan just announced that the Blue Lock will be 100% a real project. The Japan Football Association, JFA, launched a camp to find the ultimate selfish striker and dominate the world. It's called Future Camp. It'll kick
Here's
off
what I'm
in
not sure of.
California in 2026. Yes, California. That's not in Japan.
What
they'll
I'm not
recruit-
clear on is are they barred from serving in playing if they fail?
Well,
'Cause
I
that's
mean,
what
that
makes Blue
depends
Lock
on
Blue
how
Lock.
how strict they're being.
Yeah, it did not say, and I looked for it.
So they're going to recruit 15-year-olds, and apparently starting in the US. And the manga's creator himself gave the green light and invited pure egoists who want to win the World Cup to join, aiming to birth a monster capable of devouring the competition. Japan saw that playing fair didn't get them the World Cup and chose the villain's path.
They need to
Okay.
paint the whole building blue.
Okay.
Warning, child violations.
Especially because you're starting in the US, we have different laws. We have different laws. I don't know if this is gonna
Child
fly.
labor law violations. There you go.
This is wild. I mean, what a feather in the cap of the author of Blue Lock for this to actually become a thing. This is why you don't write the novel about the Torment Nexus.
I get that reference.
What am I surprised when the Beast games exist? No, I'm not. I'm not. Okay, I am at least a little bit surprised, because why would I know Blue Lock is popular, but like, what? Somebody really read this and thought, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that." This is infinitely more interesting than the show itself, at least thus far. That is terrifying.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious, honestly.
I might actually be interested to see like what comes of this, because that's crazy. Crazy.
There's some good quotes in some of these articles I'm reading. One of them says, "The project is designed to discover talented Japanese players living overseas and strengthen the future of Japanese football."
Right. Okay, so
It's like,
you're gonna instead of finding a hometown hero, import. There's gonna be terrorists for that.
Yeah. Inspired by the themes of Blue Lock and egoists all over the world, the project will focus on individually awakening their weapons and in the ambition to become the best in the world, encouraging players to develop confidence, personality, competitive spirit, and their own weapons.
Do you have to be
You know-
Japanese to participate? Do you have to be a Japanese American?
That's true. That's a good question. By the way, when you said you got to be the very best, I was like, oh, so they're going to play the Pokemon theme while
Like
they're
no one
there.
ever
Okay.
was. Yes.
So
Yeah.
the eligibility, you must be born between January 1st, 2010 and January 31st, 2011, hold a Japanese nationality, have at least one parent with Japanese nationality, or be able to obtain Japanese nationality. Current place of residence is not restricted.
How do you obtain Japanese nationality?
That is a good question.
Aren't you just born with it?
Participants, approximately 25 players, 20 through 22 midfielders, 2 to 4 goalkeepers. So they don't want a striker.
Well, they don't just want a striker.
True.
That's already more sensible. Okay, good job. Good job. Because you need an actual rounded team to do this. What is the world coming to? They're building the torture nexus. The Torment next.
Dude, this manga dude, he must be
This-
living
this-
the dream right now.
This mangaka's gotta be like grinning from ear to ear about this nonsense.
He's the only one in this picture smiling.
He's letting his ego out.
Why do I feel like there's going to be a lot of like missing children around this time?
Let's go to the place that's all painted blue. You'll find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or is this one? This is future camp. So they send them to the future.
Oh dear God.
Okay. I don't think we need to elaborate on this other than to
Nope.
say, yikes. But I'm interested.
Other to say than good luck.
Godspeed.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
But I'm glad that we clarified that they you have to be Japanese. That's gonna narrow things down at least a little bit. It's also I'm not gonna say racist, but yeah, it's a little eyebrow raising. Xenophobic, maybe. Yeah, maybe xenophobic. Which I suppose is just another form of racism, but
Well, they're trying to do the Japanese team, and I think they think it'd be weird if it wasn't Japanese or something like that.
What are you talking about? There's so many anime where the opposing team has a bunch of white guys on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's always fun. But we're done. We're done. So let's wrap it up. Kuro, play us out.
Yes. If you have anything to share with us, any thoughts about this podcast, or, well, mostly just the podcast, email us at podcast@toonamifaithful.com. If you don't already, please follow us on facebook.com/toonamifaithfulpodcast and on Twitter @toonamipodcast. You can listen to us on pretty much everything, which includes Apple, Castbox, Deezer, Google, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and TuneIn. Because Paul is determined to spread us as widely as possible. We're there. We're there. We're there at all of them. And you can find this episode of the podcast to stream online, as well as all our past episodes if you want to catch up on something you might have missed. On the same place, we have some hidden clues from Lazarus, SoundCloud.com. You can get the latest news by following at Toonami News on Twitter and read the news, views, and reviews at ToonamiFaithful.com. And if you're not following us on Blue Sky, please do so as well if you've switched to Blue Sky. We're not just on Twitter. We like to be flexible on our social media accounts as much as possible, like we are on where we post our podcast. And if you want to help us out with running a website, please think about subscribing to the Toonami Faithful Pass at patreon.com. All right, Paul, since you were the last on, we'll start with you. Where can they follow you?
Well, you can follow me at a drive-in where I'm yelling at people with their lights on. Since I was on the news, but that's you can find that somewhere. I'm not gonna find it for you. You can find me on Twitter at Paul Pascrillo and Blue Sky as well. And you can email me, paulpascrillo@toonamifaithful.com.
Yes. Steven, where can they find you streaming?
You can find me streaming on my Twitch channel, MXAGOS. I am on there playing games sometimes, whenever I can. If I have time or if I'm not sleeping. Otherwise, you can find me most of the time on social media just talking about Kamen Rider or doing stuff about Kamen Rider because that's what I'm thinking about most of the time. Or talking about some weird stuff that pop in my head. One of the two.
Laser, why don't you share all the fun places they can find you with all your side projects?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKid Prime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid. And you can find me on my podcast, The Simuldub Saints, where me and frequent podcast guest over here, Archangel, talk about simuldubs. And I've had almost all you guys over there as well. and we talk about simulubs and have fun with those. Crunchyroll, High Dive, Amazon, when they have something worth talking about. It's a good time. We're kind of on vacation while I am dog sitting, but yeah, you can find us on YouTube and Spotify podcasts.
And Sketch, where can they find you outside
Well,
of
you
doing your
can-
civic duty?
Yeah, you'll find me tomorrow morning at 9:30 in the courtroom. You can find me on Sketch 1984 on Twitter and Sketch 1984 on Blue Sky.
Quickly,
Kuro.
Laser, play the Law and Order sound.
I don't have that sound. but-
Dun,
Dun 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 dun.
And Kuro, where they can find where can they find?
I am on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky at Happy Kuro Kitty. That's me. Thank you so much for listening. And if you tuned in live and sat with us for the past 2 hours, we greatly appreciate it. Our mouth noise is your ear noise.
Oh my gosh.
Put it
No,
on
we
a
wouldn't be able
t-shirt.
to. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So we want you to know we appreciate you all. Thank you for listening in whatever manner in which you listen, whether you're joining us live or you're listening to a recording. We're greatly appreciative. Signing off. That's a wrap. That's a podcast. Peace. We're out.
My name is Takamichi. I perform a much needed job here in the city of gang violence. This place, Tokyo, is a town of little police enforcement. One day, we're not sure when, every person here lost all memory of anything which had occurred because some people started time traveling.
I thought you were doing Law and Order, and then I realized it was Big O.